Sunday night game at Lambeau Field. Let's start with Adam. Let's start with what Guardsy has there.
Guardsy's going to go with Gerby's Packers.
He's picking the Packers. Carl, I'm going to...
Smart. What's his name?
Guardsy.
Guardsy?
Guardsy. G-A-R-D. Yeah. G-A-A-R-D-S-I-E.
Okay.
He's picking your club. I'm going to wait with bated breath to see what your pick is on this game, Carl.
You want me to go then?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The Packers are going to win easy. It's not even going to be close because you know why?
Why?
Because we have a new defense. I don't know if you heard. We have a 3-4 defense, and you won't even see it coming. You won't see. You know who's going to be an all-star? A guy named Brandon Chiller. I like to call him the Big Chill. And plus we have Papinga, who's like my favorite. And we are going to destroy them. I think that there should be like 2 touchdowns or more. The Bears might do okay this season, but they will not win a division. And this is a rivalry game. This is a rival, and we are going to kill them. And it's not even going to be close. But I'm trying to be civil. So I will just say the Packers will cover 3.5, which is kind of a joke of a spread.
Dan from Woodbury?
You know, I'm kind of excited about the Jay Cutler era, not as excited as you are, because my guess is you'll pick the Bears, or maybe you'll try to throw us for a loop because you don't want to be a homer, even though you desperately want them to win.
Correct.
You'll take the Pack. But I just think the Jay Cutler era, while it's
what do you mean he's a homer? What does that mean?
A homer?
Homer.
He's a Bears fan?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Burrow's a big Bear. I mean, he likes the Bears, and I think he likes the Bears. Not quite as much as you like the Packers, but he does like the Bears. And I think the Jay Cutler era will end up being a very good era. I really think he's going to have a really nice career there, but I don't think it starts this Sunday as far as with a win, and I'll take the Packers to win that game.
I agree with both of you. I actually think...
He's going to copy me the whole time?
I think offensively, even in this game, that the Bears might surprise Green Bay, despite the fact that they're playing this stupid 3-4. But I don't like the Bears' defense much, and I definitely don't like it early because they've got all kinds of secondary issues. So I expect Green Bay is going to be able to throw the ball. If they can protect A-Raj, they're going to be fine in that regard. So I'll take Green Bay to cut. I don't think it's going to be a slaughter.
I do.
But really. And by the way, did I see you tweet your rankings of the best quarterbacks in the division?
No.
Oh, I thought that was you. Maybe it was one of the fake Gerbschmidts.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people who pretend to be me.
Yeah.
I only assume that they're listeners of your radio station.
Yeah.
I can sue you.
Well, yeah, maybe you can.
I can.
Let's get a quick pause in, and then we still got a couple games to go, if you guys can handle it. I hope you guys can hang with us through a very short pause. And then we'll get to the local games of interest. Gophers on Saturday against Air Force, and, of course, the Vikings at Cleveland on Sunday. Prediction segment, Dan from Woodbury, Gerby, you and me, back in moments.
You're listening to The Fan.
Tennessee helping us out because we're internless confirms that Vic indeed can travel with the Eagles, but he can't dress and he can't be on the sidelines or in the locker room. Is that right, Tenna? So there you have it. So, but I still expect somebody's going to try to do something stupid about towards the Philadelphia Eagles, especially if they're knocking off the Eagles. Award-winning prediction segment, brand spanking new season. Carl Gerbschmidt and Dan from Woodbury, both with us. We still have 2 games to get to here. Common, by the way, is on the golf course, which is why he may seem a bit distracted, and there may be some background noise.
Well, the other thing, too, is we're going to have to work on something, because Gerbschmidt slurs so much, and he's got a weird voice. It's hard to understand.
What?
I can't understand half of what he's saying over the phone. So we got to figure out some kind. He needs to get one of those hard lines in his house.
Wow.
I have a very clear voice. I've had my own radio show in the past.
Yeah, it sounded very different ever since the Brett Favre days.
Yeah, I think you're drunk.
Well, no, it's unlikely that he'd be drunk. Did I see your latest tweet is like you just got back from measuring US 12 again or something, or US 20 something?
We're doing the weekly measurement of UL.
Well, what are you measuring?
This is very important for the city of Elk Mound because we have money that is coming through. We get a resurface of 12, and so we have to kind of measure out what with the state and the not MnDOT, because it's YDOT.
Sounds challenging.
We take care of YDOT. We take care of a certain percentage.
You got fired by MnDOT. MnDOT didn't want you. They threw you out of the state.
That was the worst year of my life.
They threw you out of the state because you were incompetent.
No, that was my word. No, I was better than anybody working at this stupid dot.
Yeah, of course they were. All right, we got to get to our other games here. Okay, can we? Let's go next. Vikings in Cleveland. The Vikings favored by 3.5 points.
Why do we have to do the go for football game again?
Because we're in the state of Minnesota. This is the first historic game in the new TCF Bank Stadium, the Taj Mahal of college football stadiums. At least that's what they're telling you.
Last time I checked, they don't put a sponsor name on Lambeau.
When they win the national championship and we look back and didn't pick that first game on that historic run after their second game, we'd have egg on our face.
We'd look stupid, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I sense you're being cynical.
No, he means it. I think he's sincere.
There is sincerity there.
Okay, do the Vikings game. Who cares?
Adam, Gardsey. Who's Gardsey got in that one?
Likes the Vikings to cover.
Likes the Vikings to cover. We'll go next to Carl.
If you look around, most of the world is predicting the Vikings will not win the division, and many people are predicting the Vikings will not even make the playoffs. I
know. I'm stunned by it.
Yeah, I'm not, because they're just being smart. I mean, this is an old team in many aspects. The defense is unproven.
What do you mean the defense is unproven?
They're unproven.
Unproven compared to your defense?
Our defense, you won't even see them coming.
Your defense is so unproven, they've gone to a whole new...
Let's just see how many passing yards you give up this year, okay? Let's just see, okay?
Okay.
You know, we wonder why you lead the league in rushing yardage. It's because you don't have to rush. I just throw a ball up, and invariably somebody on your team will come down with it. So, okay. So, here's what's going to happen. The problem is Cleveland is terrible. I mean, they're terrible. It's like you almost... It's not fair. It's not fair that you have to get that game first week. I would like to find a way to say that you're going to lose, but I really don't. I don't think you will. I just don't think you're going to lose. Now, the question is, will you cover? And it's 3.5. It's like, yeah, you'll cover. Cleveland is terrible. It's almost like it's not fair. It's like this.
Oh, it's not fair.
Fat drug using defensive tackles. That's not fair.
Well, we got exonerated. The courts.
Drugs.
Well, now wait a minute. Now let me see if I have this right. If in Wisconsin, when all the law enforcement authorities look the other way when your Packers commit crimes, it's okay. When Minnesota fires back and says, no, we're going to do it. If we're not going to give Green Bay that advantage, suddenly you're all up in arms and you turn into, some sort of great legal mind.
I think the court system is sacred. That's what I think. I think it's a matter of once you're inside a courtroom that it's sacred, and you should be forced to follow the law, and you should be suspended all year.
Well, court has spoken here. Sorry. Dan from Woodbury, what do you have in the Vikings game?
Well, it's funny. Over the past few days and talking about it in the air, the emails and the calls I'm getting range from astonishment to anger that any national person even dares think the Vikings won't go 14-2, win the division, and advance to the Super Bowl. They're beside themselves. And it's like, I think we all agree that the team's got the makings of a pretty good season if things go right and they stay healthy and such like that. But Viking fans got to calm. This isn't the best team ever assembled. At least we don't. Maybe it'll end up being that way. Maybe it'll end up being. But it's just the idea that someone could actually say Bears or Packers win the division and Vikings go to isn't that preposterous? It's really not.
No, it's not. Although
Packers are going to win it.
I'd argue with both of you that the number of national wonks that are utterly. Basically holding the Vikings in contempt, that they're not a factor. I am shocked by that. I mean, the numbers nationally are, it's not close that more people are picking either the Packers or Bears to win the division than the Vikings. I don't think that's logical.
Well, I think some people might be. I think there are some people that are that tend to believe the same thing I do, and I'm not convinced Favre has that much. He's not convinced. He just said as recently as this week, I'm not 100% there physically or mentally, he said. If any other quarterback and any other team in pro football, if Peyton Manning went out and said, I'm not here 100% mentally or physically, he would get barbecued. And